a lot of what you're going to see is going to be coming into Star Citizen over the next 12 months. Definitely next year, a lot of what you'll be seeing will be coming in, and it's going to make a dramatically different experience in Star Citizen.
Okay, we need to talk about this. This is what Chris Roberts said at CitizenCon last year that has everybody on like a 12-month timeline from CitizenCon. But he also then came out after CitizenCon and I think kind of tried to walk back and clarify things as to the whole year. Listen here.
So everything that we've been showing you here at CitizenCon is our intention. Not making 100% promise, just so everyone remembers that, to get them into Star Citizen through next year. So it's not going to be gated on having to be after Squadron 42.
He actually did it twice too.
So we're planning over the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 of next year. Hopefully everything that we've shown you, you will have in your hands playing inside Star Citizen.
So what should players believe? Well, I'm pretty sure he realized that by next CitizenCon things probably weren't going to go the way that he was saying, and it doesn't even look like things will go that way by the end of the year anyways. So let's look at what might actually happen this year if, things actually go well for them and they can get 4.0 out, which I know most of you don't believe will happen. But let's consider it does happen and take a look at my friend's website, Greg, who put together all of the different things they talked about to keep progress of how they were going. And let's assume, like I said, that 4.0 is coming out. Now, there are going to be little things in this update that they're not talking about. They want there to be surprises, and there are usually things that aren't on release view that come in. I also am really hoping that they get a last-minute edition of the quantum travel rework, so I'm gonna put that one in there just cuz. But if we go down this list of about 56 or so line items, we can see what percentage of last year's features they could actually hit in 2024. Now, in the Future of Star Engine panel, we got quite a few things. The new quantum travel effects, obviously, as I said, I do think could make it in, so we're going to count that. The fire simulation is coming in 4.0 as well. We have the new water simulation. Maelstrom, I never thought we were going to see this year, so I don't know why they might have tried to say it would happen, but I doubt that's going to happen, so we'll leave that unmarked. Ground fog and terrain and light scattering has happened, along with cloud improvements, temporal upscaling, and the Vulkan implementations. I don't think ray tracing will make it in, so we'll leave that one unchecked. Starcloth and Starhair, I believe, are both in the game in some implementations, definitely Starhair in the character customizer, but the new audio simulation is not looking like it's going to happen. Static server meshing would be coming with 4.0 though, so we'll count that as well. Resource management, 4.0 feature, so we also count that. The new HUD is in the game, so we count that along with the new Mobiglass. FPS repair gameplay does look like it's coming with resource management in terms of being able to patch things up and the little missions they talked about over in Pyro. So that's coming with 4.0, but FPS scanning they haven't really talked about. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll leave that one unsure. The minimap downloading and kind of data running stuff that comes with that, never thought that was going to happen this year. Gosh, but I hope it does come soon. The star map is in, the path routing is in, and like I said, the data running is not with the sharing of markers, which is kind of the whole point of the star map being updated for me. We'll see when that happens. Frontier clothing, the Rough and Ready gang, the Headhunters, that's all coming with 4.0. I'm not really sure what player hygiene is, though it might have something to do with radiation. I don't know. We will leave that one undone. New hair types, new character heads, and the new character creator have all made it into the game. Zero-G EVA, that's definitely in, though not the hand push and pull. So it's like half in. Player traversal updates we haven't seen anything on, but I could see that slipping in with 4.0. We'll leave that undone though. Radiation, that's coming in with 4.0 in the Pyro Star. The Inner Thought updates have definitely come in, though a lot of people aren't big fans of them. We'll see how that goes. And the player animated interactions are not in, the physical punching of buttons and stuff like that. No sign of that just yet. The kiosk and terminal updates have made it, the looting screen is in, but we haven't seen FPS takedowns or the FPS radar and ping, which I kind of grouped in with the scanning stuff, but we'll leave that undone as its own item as well. Weapon scope improvements have made it. Moving on to flight, the immersive sit-down experience in the cockpit where you're kind of rested and you can just look around when you get in, that's not in. Neither are all the interaction prompts for all the buttons in the cockpit. I feel like that's going to be a while. The ship HUD rework looks like it's coming in 4.0, along with the MFD update that we've been seeing on ISC over the last couple of months. That I assume would come with the new configuration profiles, so we'll check that as well, but maybe that doesn't happen. They haven't said it specifically. On top of that, Master Modes is in, and it's hard to not know what's in when people will mention it every possible chance they get. Don't worry, we know you don't like Master Modes. We got it. Quantum boosting would be coming with the quantum travel rework I'm hoping comes in with 4.0, so given my caveat, we'll count that, but it might not make it this year. Just a heads up. Positional sub-targeting is indeed in the game, but I don't think we'll see control surfaces this year either, so we'll leave that one unmarked. New settlements with local missions, those have been pretty explicitly called out in Inside Star Citizen, so coming with 4.0. And the reputation access is also something that we're seeing coming with the new gangs and the headhunters and rough and ready and stuff in 4.0, so we'll count that as well. Finally, Destination Adventure. We've got the distribution centers in 323 already in the game. Raids, though, haven't been talked about. I think those are probably on the back burner. And the new hauler gameplay is coming and actually has come in now with 324 going live, along with the freight elevators, personal hangars, and the container attributes. We do have specific attributes to containers, like the time-sensitive and quantum-sensitive containers that you see in certain missions and Xenothreat. I'm not really sure if that's what's on this list, but we'll leave it unmarked because there has been no change this year on that, except they've been updated from 1/8 to all the other SCU. I don't know. You guys can call that one for yourself. Finally, base building. Yeah, I don't think it's happening this year. Even when they announced it starting production in Q1, I didn't think that would mean it's coming this year. So that's one of those things that I felt was like on the maybe side when he was throwing all his caveats in. All in all, and I think I missed weapon wear and tear in there, which we were expecting in the preview channel, but haven't seen yet. That's about 39 out of 56 features. That would give us about 69% of features that they talked about at CitizenCon making it into the game by the end of 2024. Nice. Obviously, that's not everything they talked about. It's still not even really close. There are actually a few things in there that I think are pretty crucial too. Base building obviously is a big one, but the data running with the different location that you can save is kind of the stopgap to get us to exploration gameplay properly. FPS scanning is also a pretty big one, and control surfaces, that's huge for the flight model. So these are big things that are probably going to miss this year. But it's definitely better than it has been in the past. This is certainly a trend they've had in CitizenCon when previous years you would see things and they still haven't shown up, right? Think back to the 2019 demo with the NPCs flying you around in Microtech or going to a local mission. Those kinds of things, the sandworm, those things are really bad for the company in terms of being shown and then not showing up. And I think that while this is still not a great display of living up to the things you told us last year, they're getting a lot better at delivering things after actually talking about them. Now, it's a little annoying because these are things we actually saw. Outside of base building, these are things that we saw functioning in the engine. So I would expect them to show up within a year. And I think a lot of things were set back because Squadron 42 has been more work to polish or finish up than they initially kind of told us. And they've had to pull devs a little bit back towards that instead of working more on the PU like we were expecting. Really though, we should be at a point where they're only telling us about things that are actually happening within the next year. And I'm hoping that they've learned that, like actually learned that, and at CitizenCon this year, we can get a better delivery. Again, this is if they can actually ship 4.0 by the end of this year. As I said in my video, this is possible, but it's not a guarantee, and many of you watching probably just don't believe it's gonna happen. I'm seeing people throw out June of 2025. Somebody said 2030. Whatever the comments say. Go with whatever you feel, but don't believe anything until you actually see it. Now, 324 isn't live, so really the big focus is to see if they actually start pushing testing of 4.0. The longer they take to start testing 4.0, whether it's in the preview channel, God, I hope not, or it's in Evocati, the longer you can expect for this patch to take to come out. And as we get closer to CitizenCon, the more likely it is that it won't be this year. And keep in mind that there are things like hacking that were mentioned during last year's December ISC that were supposed to be in the preview channel that we still haven't seen. So there's definitely like a backup of content that's not coming to us right now. Again, I think that's because of Squadron 42. But there is still a good chance that if server meshing and the database allows it, We do see a pretty key step forward for Star Citizen this year. While it's not looking too great, if they can get 4.0 in with the features that we've talked about here, I do think this will still be a pretty significant year for Star Citizen. Unfortunately though, so far, it hasn't quite played out how we wanted. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this quick update. Thank you for watching, and consider subscribing if you want to hear more news about Star Citizen, what's going on with it, and when you can expect it to actually change. I hope you learned something new in this video, and I'll catch you in the next.